Thanks for joining me. This is Danny, and welcome back to my Real Tech series. In this series, we are going to be continuing with Immersive Engineering, and we're going to set up automated ore doubling. So by the end of this episode, we are going to have a chest where we're going to drop all of our ores in, and we're going to have another chest where we're going to get all of our ingots doubled. Hooray! So to start with, we are going to be making our first heavy machinery. That is the crusher. So the crusher is our ore doubling machine. Essentially, you throw stuff in here, it gets crushed, and it gives us dusts, which are doubled. We're going to do something similar to what I did in the last series, and that is we're going to conveyor belt into the crusher, and then we are going to go into vanilla furnaces that are going to be externally heated using RF with the external heater, and we'll get into that later. That's a fairly simple process, although we're going to do a few things differently. First of all, we have a mod called Immersive Petroleum in this pack, which gives us these wonderful little projectors, which make it a little bit easier to put these multi-block structures together. So what you do is you craft the projector, like so, and we use the lantern, and then we open our engineer's manual to the machine that we want to put together. And then we put that in a crafting grid with that page open with the projector, and then we will see here it says crusher projector. So now our just plain old projector is now a crusher projector. So we pull that out and we get some new recipes apparently. And then we can set this guy down wherever we want our crusher. So we can... Oh, how does it work? We middle click to turn it. So I'm clicking my middle mouse button, and we shift middle click to... Oh, whoops. Oh boy, okay. We shift middle click to reverse it. Now in this pack, shift middle clicking is how you place items in the world. So, yeah. So I guess when we shift middle click, we're going to end up... And I do want to shift middle click because I want this thing turned that way. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pick it up again. So I'm going to get this thing positioned exactly where I want it. Now, if we actually, how do we... Okay. So the output is going to be here. So actually, I'm going to flip this thing around again. The power, well, actually, if we look at the book, we can see what this looks like once it's assembled. So the output is here. This is a redstone control. We can turn it on and off. We can hit the stop button, and then we can see what the individual components are made of. So normally we would have to look... Oh, we can turn it around. Okay. Normally we would have to look in the book, place a few blocks, and then look in the book again to see what the next blocks are that we need to place. But of course, with the projector, we don't have to do that. So these are all the materials we need, and those little check marks tell us that we have those things. So in my inventory, I already have some of these crafting components, and I've already calculated the total raw materials needed, and I will show you that in a second, in order to make a crusher. That's where the power comes in. So I do... So I actually want it to be turned this way, but flipped. So... Because I want the power to come in over here, because we're going to have conveyor belts running all over the place over here. So that'll make that easier. So I'm going to pick up my projector again. Okay, shift click causes it to do this again. So I actually want to rotate it. No, actually. Darn it. That's kind of a problem. I may have to change that key binding. Okay, so that's what I want. So I want the output there, and I want the... And you can see it'll turn red when it's places where it can't go. So, alright, so I'm putting this right up against the wall. I'm giving us one block of space over here. And we are probably going to end up having to break those lights. So... I crafted most of the components already, because you don't really need to watch me craft, because that's kind of boring. There's one component I haven't crafted yet, because something's changed with it, and it's kind of exciting, so I'm going to show you that in a bit. So these are all the components that you're going to need to make yourself a crusher. We're going to need 24 steel altogether, 26 copper, 89 or 109 iron. Now, normally you would need 109 iron. I'm about to show you how to save yourself 20 iron. 4 redstone, and 72 planks. This is actually to make hoppers, because we need it, as we can see here. We need 9 hoppers, we need 8 steel fences, and the 10 steel scaffolding. That's what the steel is for, and there's also iron in there too. The redstone engineer's block, and then the light engineering block, that's where we need most of our iron, and then actually the hoppers needed quite a bit too. So normally the light engineering blocks are made like this. Actually, this is always how they're made, not just normally. But we need 10 of these guys, so we need to make 5 of these recipes. That means we need 10 of these iron mechanical components, which would normally require 40 iron plates. However, the engineer's workbench, there is now a recipe in the engineer's workbench, using the crafting components blueprint in the engineer's workbench. We only need 2 iron plates for this. So you can see I have 20 iron plates and 10 copper, and that's going to give us our 10 mechanic. Oh, that was weird. Okay, you have to oh, there's a bug or something. Oh, well, okay. So I took the copper out, I put it back in, and then I was able to pull it out. So I don't know, there's something about leaving the engineer's workbench and then coming back in that the crafting recipe doesn't work. But if you move an item and then put it back in, then it seems to work. Okay, so now we can take those and make our 10 light engineering blocks. Cool. So now all we have to do is place, so it's light engineering blocks over here, and then the rest is all scaffolding. And then once we're done with this level, it's going to show us the next. Go. And we are going to actually have some components left over. So that price or the cost, the material cost that I showed you before. Oh, that's nice. So when you're holding a block, it actually highlights. That's cool. It highlights the blocks that, or where to place those blocks. We're going to end up with a couple extra steel scaffolding and extra redstone engineering block. So technically it's not quite as expensive as it might look when you look at the materials, because we'll be able to use some of these materials for another build. Oh, no, that's not hoppers there. That is steel fences. Okay, and then I'm now stuck because there's a fence here and I'm right up at roof level. Okay. Right, we're actually gonna end up breaking those. Even though they may not actually be in the way, but I'm just gonna get rid of them for now so I can get in there. So then we just do our 9 hoppers on the top. Okay, oh crap, I think I placed one too far away. Yeah. Place one over here. There, all done. Hooray! Okay, so now actually we can just take this guy and shift right click. And then we're back to this mode, and then we could just take it out of our hotbar. And that turns off that. So now we can take our engineer's hammer and click somewhere. It'll tell us in the book where to click. I'll probably just take a guess, but the structure is formed by right-clicking the central block of the front. Okay, so that would be this. Hooray! Hazardous machinery. Oh, this thing is hazardous. That's not just a joke. If you fall in there, which we can't because we can't even get up there, you will take damage. So now let's get some power over here. So I've got power running to this guy over here. So that should work. So now if we throw something in there. Oh, did I throw that too far? I think I threw it too far. It grinds it up and brings it out here. So we got some gravel from our cobblestone. But of course, you know, what's even better is if we throw an iron cluster in there, which is basically like an iron ore. Throw that in there, and we get 2 iron grit, each of which can be smelted into a melt it into an ingot. Now, of course, we don't want to have to climb up there and throw stuff in there, and then catch it down here, because that's no fun, right? We want this all, I mean, maybe it is fun. It's fun for a while, but we want this all automated, of course. So the way this is going to work is this is going to be our drop chest. We're going to put our ores in here like this, and they're going to get carried on conveyor belts up, over, and then dropped into the crusher. And then they're going to pop out the front. They're going to come over here, and they're going to go into two furnaces. Two vanilla furnaces. However, these vanilla furnaces are going to be kind of super powered. They're going to be faster, and they're going to be powered with RF, so that they won't produce any pollution, because all of our RF is actually being produced by renewable sources that do not produce pollution in this pack, because they are going to be heated by an external heater. So this external heater is a block, actually made like so. It's not terribly expensive. It's a bunch of copper, so 8, 9, 10, 11 copper, a little bit of iron, 4 or 5 iron, redstone, and yeah, and that's it. And what this guy does is you give it RF, and it will basically heat the heaters that are adjacent to it, so we could actually have more of them, and allow them to burn whatever is in their slot. So we don't have to put any coal in this slot. We don't have to worry about managing that, which can be a real pain in the butt. So all we have to do is input stuff into the top. Actually, we can't power this from here because we're going to have a conveyor belt there. Power this from the front. And just for some nice symmetry, I'm going to put that there. Actually, I'll put one above here so that it's out of our way. Oh, I'm going to have to make some more wires. The way the external heater works is that it will slowly heat up the furnace. The longer it's running, the faster the furnace will go until it reaches its maximum speed. So actually, we do have to make something special here, because now in the past, you could just put a conveyor belt on the back of a chest, and whatever you put in it would get pulled out. That's no longer the case. As you can see, we are going to need an extracting conveyor for this. So just to prove that this actually does work. If we try to do this now, it doesn't work. If we take out the copper, put it back in, or take out something else, and put it back in, then it works. So I am making the extracting conveyor belt. This requires strip cartons, so we do need a bunch of tough fabric. It was like 45 or so, something like that. It was less than a stack. Well, I think it was 3/4 of a stack, so that gets us our extracting conveyor. Now, as soon as we place this thing, whatever is in that chest will come out. Hooray! Alright, now for compactness, we have these nice vertical conveyors. The last time I did this, these vertical conveyors did not exist. You know what? Before I run those conveyors, I'm going to run these over here. So we're going to have a conveyor. Oh, that is the wrong conveyor. We're going to have a conveyor coming out of here. And then I'm going to run this one up right away too. I need more vertical conveyors. And then it's going to... This is why I didn't want to do those yet. Okay, so it's going to come up. I guess it could come over this way. But ultimately, we want it to run into this splitting conveyor belt. So what the splitting conveyor belt does is basically it evenly splits the input out into two different directions. So this way, half of our stuff, so if we throw a stack of something in there, half a stack will end up in one furnace and half a stack in the other, which will allow it to work more efficiently and faster. Ooh, I have to turn this thing too, because this right here is the power. That's where it's going to accept power. Okay, I have to hold down the shift key to walk over the conveyor belts. So we want to make sure that we turn this so that that side is over here. Let me just take that off to make sure. Yep. Okay. Oh, I still haven't made my copper wires. So we hold down shift to walk over conveyor belts without getting caught in them. So once we set this up, it's going to be a pain to have to come back here. So hopefully we should never have to come back here again. Let's see. So we want a conveyor going into that. And then we want one going into that. Oops. Nope, actually, that's not right. We want it to be turned that way. I think one of my conveyor belts ended up in a hopper. Nope, nope, okay. We've got the conveyor coming across here, and then up, and then over, and then around, and then into those two. So if we throw both of these one at a time, we should end up one going in each furnace. That one, and then that one. Of course, now the furnaces aren't running yet because this thing doesn't have power. But hooray! So we know that works. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit tricky, but not too bad. So we'll just turn this so that it's going in. So we're gonna be coming this way, and then we're just gonna drop it right into the center. So that way we don't have to worry about anything like bouncing out or anything stupid like that. So we're having one row of conveyor belts right above the other row. That was the reason I wanted to do that bottom one first, because it would have been hard to get in there once this one was in there. Ooh, now what? Okay, now I'm gonna go up here. And the vertical conveyor belts will connect if there's a horizontal one in the next block. Actually, there's two things I could do here. I could put a hopper there, pointing into here, and then this will go into the hopper and it'll turn. Or I can do what I did over there. In fact, I'm going to do that. Because hoppers are slow. They're slower than conveyor belts, so it could potentially slow us down. So why don't we do this? There. Cool. So now there is one small flaw with this setup, and that is that items, if we get too close, we're going to end up picking up items. There is a solution to that, but it's a little bit expensive for where I'm at, and I'll do it eventually, but that is the covered conveyor belts. These do require steel scaffolding. So we have some steel scaffolding, but it's steel, you know, and steel is expensive for me at this point. But it'll basically turn these into almost like pipes, because they'll hold on to their items. So now all we have to do is power this guy, and we will be good to go. Oh, wow. So I'm going to throw in some iron and some what was that, copper? Oh, okay, there we go. So our crusher is using about 130 RF per tick. We were using like 6 for our lamps. So that's not so bad. Now once our furnaces start running, then we're going to start using a lot of RF, and if we look out here, we'll see that our lamps, oh, they're actually still on. Oh, that's surprising. Okay. I guess the lamps are taking precedence somehow. Look at all this. Look at what's going on, man. Woohoo! Our stuff is being moved around. There's actually a whole bunch of stuff in the crusher right now, because it's probably already emptied out this chest. So it'll sit there, waiting to be crushed. A couple things to note, to be careful about with the crusher, is that if you fall in the crusher, so if we look, we should see that we have about the same amount going in each. If you fall in the crusher, you will take damage. So, yeah, be careful about that. It hurts, you know, it hurts to fall in a machine that's crushing things. If something falls in the crusher that it cannot crush, it'll just sit there and it'll eventually despawn. So basically you're voiding the item, ultimately. Or if you're dropping a whole bunch of stuff, you might actually be maybe causing some lag. So yeah, this is all done. So we just drop our stuff in this chest and it comes out in this chest doubled. Hooray! You can see now that it's nice and warmed up that it's a lot faster than a regular vanilla furnace. And if we wanted to increase the speed even more, we could add more furnaces. Oh, okay, so we do get byproducts too. So eventually we're gonna get some nickel out of the deal. That's from the iron. Now the copper's coming out. In fact, actually, if we look in JEI, let's say iron grit. If we look in the crusher, we have a 10% chance of getting nickel grit. Nice. And then, of course, we can look at all the crusher recipes here. We can see we can get our gravel from cobblestone, sand from gravel. So if we have a lot of, you know, we could do cobble work. The hopper thing here is very important. I use hoppers because otherwise all of that stuff be sitting on the conveyor belts because our crusher is obviously faster than our furnaces. 1 stack of iron and 1 stack of copper. We got 2 stacks of iron ingots, 2 stacks of copper ingots, 7 nickel ingots, and 7 gold. Hooray! So that's it. It's all set up. That was easy. So if you have any questions or comments or whatever, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Or if you just want to say hello. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to click the like button and to subscribe if you're not subscribed, if you want more of this. And join me in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.